Have you ever imagined God using something as small as a worm to teach a powerful prophet a life-changing lesson? This is the story of Jonah, not the whale, not the storm, but the worm. After Jonah finally obeyed God and preached to the city of Nineveh, something shocking happened. The people repented. From the king to the commoner, they turned away from their evil ways. And instead of destroying the city, God showed mercy. But Jonah was not happy. In fact, the Bible says he was greatly displeased and became angry. Angry that God was compassionate. Angry that mercy had won. So Jonah walked out of the city and sat down east of it. He made himself a shelter and waited, perhaps hoping God would still destroy Nineveh. And then God did something unexpected. The Lord provided a leafy plant and made it grow over Jonah to give him shade for his head and ease his discomfort. For the first time in this story, Jonah was happy. Very happy, but the lesson was just beginning. At dawn the next day, God appointed a worm. Not a storm, not a whale, a worm. And the worm chewed the plant so that it withered. When the sun rose, God also sent a scorching east wind. The sun blazed on Jonah's head until he grew faint, and once again, Jonah became angry, so angry that he said, "It would be better for me to die than to live." All this, over a plant. Jonah, is it right for you to be angry about the plant? Jonah said, "It is, and I'm so angry I wish I were dead." But God replied, "You have been concerned about this plant. Though you did not tend it or make it grow, it sprang up overnight and died overnight. And should I not have concern for the great city of Nineveh, in which there are more than 120,000 people, and also many animals?" In that moment, the worm exposed Jonah's heart. He cared more about his comfort than about people, more about shade than about souls, more about a temporary plant than about an entire city. And God used a tiny worm to reveal a giant truth. Compassion matters more than comfort. Sometimes, the greatest lessons don't come through dramatic miracles, but through small, uncomfortable losses. What if the withered plants in our lives, the opportunities, the comforts, the things we lose, are not punishments, but lessons? What if God is using a worm to teach us about mercy, perspective, and the value of people? Jonah's story ends with a question, and maybe that question is for us too. Will we care more about our temporary comforts, or about the hearts of others? Because sometimes, God doesn't send a whale. Sometimes, He sends a worm.